Mike Marlar was your winner for the Luke Soil Late Model Dirt Series feature at Golden Isles on Saturday night. You can see the full list of the top 10 right here. Marlar came in first. Brandon Sheppard was second. Chris Madden third. Brandon Overton fourth. Jonathan Davenport fifth. Garrett Albertson sixth. Hudson O'Neill seventh. Dalton Wilson eighth. Kyle Larson came home ninth. And Will Harrington rounded out your top 10. For the most part, this race was clean and green. And there was some exciting racing for that top position, especially with about like 16 laps to go. You had Brandon Sheppard really putting some heat on Mike Marlar. Marlar made an extremely aggressive move against Max Blair to separate himself and ensured that win. We also had some really good racing between Sheppard and Brandon Overton earlier in the race for second. And but for the most part, Mike Marlar was really untested. I think he had that one main challenge there with like 16 laps to go. And then I guess a little bit off the first restart when Brandon Overton was trying to, or I guess the second restart after that first caution when Brandon Overton was trying to give him a little bit of a challenge there. But for the most part, Marlar was unchallenged and was the dominant car for much of the race. So before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So as I was talking about, we did get some pretty good racing here for the second place position. This was between Overton and Brandon Sheppard, 10 laps into the race, 40 laps to go. Let's take a look here at some of this racing here. It was pretty good here. Sheppard really trying to work that bottom line on Overton. Overton was really able to kind of hold him off, and then Sheppard would keep trying and work that bottom lane. He would eventually get him on the outside. He really kind of found this outside groove working in turns 3 and 4 and was really able to get huge runs going down the front stretch and was able to really get by Brandon Overton then. But we had some pretty tight racing there for second place for a good chunk of the race, while Marlar was about a second ahead of them. With about 16 laps to go, things really started to kind of heat up here. They were obviously got into lap traffic. Brandon Sheppard had kind of reeled Marlar in, who had kind of, I don't know if he was like sitting back or what was going on, but he clearly got kind of held up by the lap traffic, and Sheppard was there to give him a challenge. And Marlar had to do this really, really excellent here. Aggressive move right there. You can see kind of cutting down on Max Blair. Blair has to lift and then kind of blocks Sheppard and allows Marlar to gap both Blair and Sheppard. And that was pretty much the winning move and allowed him to kind of cruise to victory. I don't think Sheppard was actually able to get around Max Blair by the end of the race. There was a little bit of a change there towards the end where Madden was able to drive right underneath Brandon Overton. I really don't know what happened. Overton kind of like drifted up the track a little bit, and Chris Madden was like, thank you, and drove right by. But I definitely think this kind of tightens up your points picture. This was what it looked like going in to the race. Ricky Thornton Jr. was in the lead. He actually did not finish the race. He had to go to a backup car after looks like he overdrove it in the heat in the first heat race of the night. He was running in second, tried to make a move on Chris Madden to get the win on the last lap, and just absolutely slammed against the outside wall, junked the car, had to go to a backup, took a provisional, and then ended his night early with about, I feel like there was like still like 30 laps to go around there. About halfway through the race, I guess. So definitely will probably change the point structure. I'm not sure if I think they're still counting this race as speed weeks, and they do some kind of weird thing where they can like get rid of races or whatever for the points or something like that. So I don't know if that will affect anything as far as Ricky Thornton Jr.'s overall points. But obviously, he was in the lead going into this race. You had Hudson O'Neill in second. Jonathan Davenport was in third. Devin Moran in fourth. Dalton Wilson was fifth. Jimmy Owens was sixth. Brandon Sheppard was seventh. Tim McCready was eighth. Tyler Erb was ninth. And Garrett Albertson was 10th. You have to go all the way down to 13th to find Mike Marlar. Obviously, with the win, he's going to jump up, I would assume, a couple of spots there. I think just the fact that we have so many winners and you have like people that might be dominant cars not being so dominant at certain tracks. I mean, even Bobby Pierce was outside the top 10 tonight. He was actually in the race. I think he was hovering around 13 most of the night. So it just shows you just how competitive this series is right now, and just what it takes to win. And you've got like 15 cars that can win on any given night out there, that show that they can win and have won. I think we have had 9 winners now in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series so far. And obviously you've got people like Garrett Albertson that have been knocking on the door. You've had some people like Garrett Smith that have been up there winning their heat races, setting on the pole, and really kind of challenging up there, but just unable to finish it out. So, but as far as the race goes, it was kind of a ho-hum race. Marlar pretty much did dominate the race. It wasn't as exciting as what I was expecting, especially after what we saw in the heat races. I thought there was some great racing in those heat races. That first heat race was really good. They were running 3 wide. Obviously, Ricky Thornton Jr. trying to send it, and he sent it into the wall. But then even in the second and third heat races and the fourth heat races, yeah, they went by like boom, 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 boom. But you still had some pretty good racing happening there. But I don't know. Wasn't the best race. But it was good to see Mike Marlar get in victory lane for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and really kind of dominate the field and letting people know, hey, I might be a veteran, but I'm still here and I'm still here to win. But let me know what you guys made of the race. Let me know in the comments below.